Now, back during when water protectors were protesting the Dakota Access Pipeline, there was a security firm called Tiger Swan. Now, they were essentially nothing more than hired mercenaries that would go in, that would put in agitators, that would infiltrate the protests, and basically find a way to try to shut it down. Now, that one of those, like I said, companies that's a mercenary company is Tiger Swan, as I said. And they are now getting into something different. Instead of breaking down protests, now they're getting into disaster cleanup. Fascinating. Now, The Intercept reports that Tiger Swan, the security company best known for its efforts to suppress indigenous-led resistance to the Dakota Access Pipeline, is stepping up to pursue profits in areas hit by, get this is the irony here, climate change-driven natural disasters. So they went and they protected the oil companies and the pipeline companies. And now they're going, well, hey, look, we get to make a profit now after the fact, after this oil gets burned and releases carbon into the atmosphere and actually exacerbates climate change. Well, now we get to go in and we get to make money off of that. That's insanity. Now, before I get to you, Dustin, there are 3 blog posts that are published on Tiger Swan's website. Now, they were published back in February, and they describe the firm's response and efforts in the aftermath of Hurricane Harvey and Hurricane Maria in Puerto Rico and Hurricane Matthew in North Carolina in 2016. Now, Tiger Swan, according to the Post, assisted National Guard members in Houston and emergency managers in North Carolina by providing them with access to something called its Guardian Angel system, which would monitor the movement of individuals and sensitive shipments. Now, look, reading into this article, and there'll be a link in the description of this video, it doesn't exactly work as advertised. But yet, of course, we are paying exorbitant sums of money to this essentially private mercenary group for access to this technology that they've developed. Now, look, I mentioned that they were in at Standing Rock, right? Now, they used militaristic tactics. They used, I'm pretty sure they used Guardian Angel as well, but they sent infiltrators into resistance camps, conducted surveillance, engaged in propaganda efforts. They coordinated with law enforcement. They did all that stuff. And now, of course, the government is continuously going back to them and hiring them for disaster relief. And that, I think, is disastrous in itself. Dustin, what do you think?
Yeah, with companies like that, North Dakota has a proud history of law and order. And the ironic thing about that is right now, actually, Tiger Swan has a pending trial in North Dakota because they are operating without a permit to legally work in the state. Businesses like that should not be allowed to operate not only in North Dakota, but in our country. We live in this time where everyone believes in law and order, and then we allow these things to just happen right in front of our face. A company like that has no respect for mankind or the planet, and like you said, is helping projects that exacerbate climate change, that make my job as a wildland firefighter extremely difficult. And then they turn around and they capitalize off of that by claiming that they're helping people in these disasters. I mean, it's disgusting. It's not good.
Right now, Puerto Rico, there's still a lot of work that needs to get done. See, people tend to forget about the damage from the hurricanes that happened in these different places. The news cycle has moved on. Most people have seemingly forgotten. There's some great reporters out there that are actually still doing great work. Nomiki Constance has been in Puerto Rico as of late. I believe maybe even John Adirola was also there recently. And look, here comes Tiger Swan now to try to make some money off of it. Now, I have a quote here from William Ramirez, director of the American Civil Liberties Union of Puerto Rico. Now, he says of this, quote, Puerto Rico is ripe for a corporation like Tiger Swan. And he asked, are they truly here for relief, or are they here to cut out a piece of the pie for themselves? And I think we all kind of know the answer to that question. It's going to lead to privatization. There are profiteers going into these areas, and look, we're allowing them because we've allowed corporations to basically run everything. We've allowed privatization. A lot of our industries, or a lot of our services, I should say, that should be more of the government's purview. Disaster relief, again, should be more of the government. But we've seen that. The government, under Republicans, will cut funding to places, organizations like FEMA, and then outsource it to private companies who then will take some of that money and bribe politicians so they can continue getting contracts. It's a sick, disastrous system. And of course, we see the reason for that, the reason that it exists, is because we have money in politics. Again, that massive greed makes it so our politicians are not responsive to us, but are more responsive to their donors. You want to weigh in, Dustin?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, companies like Tiger Swan and other private organizations, I will say as a wildland firefighter, we do bring on contractors, and a lot of them are really great. Obviously not the same situation as what companies like Tiger Swan do. 2008, one of my second year in firefighting, we actually went down and did hurricane relief and worked under the FEMA incident command system, and a lot was accomplished. These companies that are coming in and taking a slice of the pie and claiming that they're helping and stuff like that. Places like Puerto Rico are just a prime example of it's all lip service, and it's exactly what you keep saying. It always comes back to campaign finance reform. No matter what the issue is, there's always money behind it. And what needs to happen is we need to get the voters behind candidates, not politicians behind the money.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching this video. If you want to see more like this, please hit the subscribe button below. And if you want to support truly independent progressive media, please consider becoming a patron at patreon.com/TYTNation.